Jeffrey Sachs is an economist and special advisor to UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. I asked him if he was disappointed with President Barack Obama's performance, having supported him over his last term.
Well, I think that President Obama could and should have done better. I am supporting him for re-election, as you say. I think the alternatives would be much grimmer for the United States. But unfortunately, the U.S. policymaking is pretty deeply affected by our vested interests, whether it's Wall Street, big energy, big health care. And so we have a kind of politics right now that is not so much subject to the hope and change that President Obama campaigned on in 2008, but is pretty static even when the problems are very, very large. This is the situation in the United States. Very deep problems, very small structural change. We're not getting to the nub of these problems.
Are you also disappointed in Republican politics and most recently the calls that we've heard during the campaign for essentially austerity to balance the federal budget even while proposing and promising tax cuts?
Well, yes. I think balancing a budget can be responsible, but if you do it cutting taxes for the rich and slashing education spending, health spending, and needs of the poor, this is, of course, reckless and disgraceful. And that's the kind of politics, unfortunately, that is part of American politics right now, a part of the Republican right. But I have to say that, again, both parties cater to the upper class, the middle class. They don't really pay too much attention to the poor. That, again, is a way that the money in American politics works right now. There's a lot of attention to the campaign funders that are funding the billion-dollar-plus campaigns of both candidates. It doesn't give a lot of space and attention to those at the bottom that really need the help. But within the two parties, if you compare the Democrats and President Obama, definitely pay relatively more attention to those in need and relatively more attention to the public goods and services, whether it's education, healthcare, infrastructure, climate change, that America needs addressing, though neither party's really doing enough.
I have to tell you, I've been surprised that there has been so little discussion of poverty in the United States during the presidential election cycle. Have you been surprised by that as well?
Well, if I were a linguist, I would study the odd fact that the word poverty has almost disappeared from the political lexicon. Every reference is to the middle class. This is kind of a game. If you say poor, then that's a code word for taxes, transferring money to somebody in need. And in the American mentality right now, unfortunately, at least a part of it, that is unacceptable. And so neither candidate talked about poor people, people who are really hurting. Everything is about the middle class, and of course, so much of the politics are really about the wealthy. This is a kind of distortion when you have a political system that is so much influenced by money, as the American political system is. This election cycle will probably take in more than $7 billion of campaign finance, and mainly from very wealthy people.